You're standing on a street you've never seen before, a little lost, so you pull out your phone, open the map, and a small blue dot blinks to life exactly where you're standing. You glance up at the sky, and a strange little question creeps in. Who out there is watching me closely enough to know exactly where I am? Here's the surprising answer. Nobody is. There's no giant eye in the sky looking down and spotting you, and your phone never sends a single word up to anything. The whole thing runs one way only. Way up high, some satellites are constantly talking, and your phone just quietly listens, the way you might overhear a radio, never talking back. So what are these satellites actually saying? Picture a handful of them circling the Earth, far above the clouds, and each one endlessly repeats the very same little message. I am satellite number 5. I am right here, and the time this instant is exactly this. It's like a lighthouse that, instead of sweeping a beam of light around, shouts out the precise time, over and over, forever. And no matter where you stand outdoors, there are always a few of them somewhere above you. Now here comes the clever part. That message travels down to you at the speed of light, which is blazingly fast, but not instant, so the shout always arrives a tiny bit late, and the farther away the satellite is, the longer its shout takes to reach you. Your phone simply compares the time written inside the message with the time right now, and that little bit of lateness quietly tells it how far the shout traveled. Since light always moves at the same steady speed, that delay turns straight into a distance, so your phone now knows something like, I am 10,000 miles from this one satellite. But being a fixed distance from one point in the sky doesn't pin you down at all. You could be anywhere on a giant invisible bubble around that satellite, and one satellite by itself can never do better than that. So your phone listens to a second satellite, and that gives it a second bubble, and then a third, each one a sphere of its own. And here's the beautiful part. These giant bubbles only touch at one single place in the world, one spot that sits at exactly the right distance from every satellite at once. That one crossing point is you. Nobody aimed a camera at you or hunted you down. A few invisible bubbles simply overlapped, and the only place they all agreed on was the ground beneath your feet. But there's one more trick needed to make this work, and it's all about clocks. Those satellites carry astonishingly precise clocks, while the little clock inside your phone is nowhere near as good, because light crosses about a foot in a single billionth of a second. A tiny slip in timing would throw your position off by miles, so your phone listens to a fourth satellite and uses it to fix its own clock, nudging it until all 4 answers finally agree, and only then does it trust the dot on the map. And there's one honestly strange thing hiding in all this. Up there, so high and moving so fast, time actually ticks by at a slightly different pace than it does down here for us. It's a tiny difference, but if nobody corrected for it, your map would drift off, sliding wrong by miles every single day. So the system quietly adjusts for it all the time, and you never notice a thing. Once you know all this, the little glitches suddenly make sense. Duck into a tunnel or a parking garage, and the shouts can't punch through the walls, so your phone goes blind and starts guessing. Walk between tall buildings, and the shouts bounce off the walls and arrive crooked, which is why the blue dot sometimes jumps from one side of the street to the other. And when you first switch it on, it needs a few seconds just to find enough satellites to trust. So here's the whole thing in 3 beats. Satellites in the sky shout out the exact time over and over. The little delay in each shout becomes a distance, a bubble around each satellite, and where 4 of those bubbles cross is you. Which means, next time that blue dot lands right on you, on a street you've never walked before, you'll know the truth. Nobody was watching you at all. It was you the whole time, quietly listening to 4 clocks in the sky and doing the math. If you learned something new today, subscribe for more.